this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 life principles to live by. These are principles that I strive to embody within my own life, and my intention with this video is to help you understand the value of having principles in your life that you use to govern your day-to-day behavior, because the more you align your principles with your current behavior that you are exhibiting, that is when you will be able to close the gap between where you are right now and where you are capable of being in the future. Now, my name is Mo Salim, and my mission is to elevate human consciousness. And in this video, like I said, I will be sharing 5 key principles that I strive to embody within my own life. Hopefully they can help you as well. And really what I want you to do is come up with your own principles that you can go ahead and use to govern your behavior. So the first principle that I strive to embody in my life is that of direction over speed, because there have been so many times in my life where I have been checking off tasks on my to-do list, when I have been just trying to force myself towards doing what I know that I need to do and just going through the motions of doing what I think I need to do rather than examining the direction in which I am headed. All right, now they say, there's a common saying in modern society today that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But the fact is that without your destination in mind, the journey will be aimless. It will have no direction towards which you are headed, all right? And there's an old analogy that you can be very good at climbing the ladders, right? But if the ladder is leaned against the wrong wall, then it's going to be too late for you to the point where you actually get to the top of the ladder and then you realize that it was leaning against the wrong wall the whole time, all right? So direction is very important, and this is why it is essential to become clear on what the destination is, all right? Yes, the journey is important. Yes, the process is important, but so is the destination, right? So it's not either or, it's both of them. Now, the second principle that I strive to live by is that of intentional behavior, all right? Because like I said, so many times I got stuck in having this behavior that was going through the motions, but it was not intentional in the regard that I didn't think about why I was doing what I was doing, right? I would perhaps be on the pot taking a shit, and there I would be scrolling through social media, and long after the time that I've been finished up with going to the toilet, I'm still on my phone scrolling through. And that is an example of unintentional behavior, of not being mindful of why you are doing what you are doing, and not even knowing why you're doing it, right? Now, social media has been a huge one for me, and this is the reason why I actually deleted Instagram application from my phone, because there was too many times where I found myself mindlessly scrolling through my screen, right? And intentional behavior is all about being clear on why you are doing what you are doing, all right? Now, the third principle that I strive to embody in my life is that of intellectual curiosity, all right? Now, the old Stoic philosopher Epictetus says that you cannot learn that which you think you already know. And back when I was like 17 years old, I thought that I knew everything, right? I thought that every single thing that there was to know about life, I knew what it was, and it was just a matter of time before I actualized it, all right? Lo and behold, I realized that that was just a pipe dream. That was not actually true, because the more I actually dove deeper into the self-development journey, into improving myself as a person, into learning about new topics, into exposing myself to new ideas, I realized that I had only glimpsed but a tip of the iceberg, right? The more that I learned, the more I realized that I have only glimpsed, like I said, a tip of the iceberg, because there's so much to learn, and the more you learn, the more you realize that you have to learn. So embodying that curiosity, almost lost my balance there, but embodying that curiosity of always having the learner's mindset, of always being open to new information, to new ideas, and never thinking that I know something, all right? Because the minute that I think that I know something, that is the minute where I would stop myself from learning even more about that topic, okay? Now, the fourth principle is that of principles over tactics, right? Because methods are many, but principles are a few. And Ralph Waldo Emerson has a quote, and I'll be paraphrasing right now, which is that methods, tactics, strategies, there are many of them, right? But when you have a solid grasp of the principles, then you can go ahead and choose your own strategies, your own methods, your own techniques that will allow you to adjust the process in regards to where you are right now in particular and where you want to be personally, all right? Because so many of us, me included, has been stuck in that paradigm of trying to get that cookie cutter approach, of trying to get that trying to get someone else to just tell me what to do when doing it. But the fact is that without a solid grasp of the principles, you will always be looking for someone else to give you the advice. You'll be jumping from one tactic to the next, from one strategy to the next, rather than understanding why you're doing it, right? And why is the most important question in the world, because the strategies and the tactics, they involve the how, the what, but once you're clear on the why, then the how and the what will naturally take care of themselves. And this is why the first principles approach is so important for me in my life. And the final principle is that of extreme responsibility. Now, there is a quote where Uncle Ben told Spider-Man that with extreme power, or with great power, comes great responsibility. Now, when we flip that quote on its head, we realize that with extreme responsibility comes extreme power as well. Because when you take responsibility for every single thing in your life, that is when you give yourself the power to change any single thing in your life, right? The opposite of this principle is that of the victim mentality, where you're blaming, you're complaining, you're making excuses for why you are not where you want to be. And when we flip that, we take responsibility and realize that even the things that are not within our control, for example, the parents that we have, the school that we went through, the country that we're from, our race, all of these factors may not have been within your control, but you are responsible for them, right? So rather than complaining, rather than blaming, take responsibility and realize that everything is within your power to change it, but only after you take responsibility for it. So these 5 principles I strive to embody within my own life, and every time that I'm falling short on something, I look back at these principles and identify where I am falling short, and lo and behold, always I can narrow it down to which principle I'm not living in harmony with and what needs to be done next, right? So I hope that this has been an inspiration for you to come up with your own principles. Take whatever one of these principles is useful for you, and more important than anything else is to implement, to experiment, and come up with your own conclusions based on your own personal experience, rather than jumping from one video to the next, from one tactic, from one strategy, from just overwhelming yourself with all of this information. Rather than doing that, implement the stuff that you already know you have been exposed to, and go ahead and reap the benefits and see what happens once you actually implement. Because once you take action, that is what gives you access to the most information rich stream of data, which you can use to go ahead and optimize yourself moving forward, right? So action over everything else. These are all ideas, and I hope that you implement them and get the nuanced information that you can only get from taking action. So with that ramble, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you got value from it. Click the like button if you liked it. Click the subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me. And with all that being said, this has been Mo Salim, and I will see you soon.